Hey friends, it's Jill here with the Hometown Homestead, and today we're going to talk about thriving in the busy season. Now, I recently did a video on thriving in the busy season here in the kitchen and talked to you about what we did to keep everything going and everybody fed while we were running out the door 5 days a week for ball. If you've missed that, make sure to check the link at the end or see if you can pull it up in the comments below. But today we're here to talk about household management with our laundry, as well as every other room in the house that was just driving me crazy, and what I was able to find to maximize my efficiency on time and to get things done around here while still being able to keep everything else and all the other plates spinning as we pull through our baseball season. So if you are interested in finding ways to tame your laundry or get a few things under control in your house, let me share with you some tips that really helped as we went on this journey at our house. My very first observation was that we have way too much stuff. Too many toys, too many clothes, too many socks, too many shoes, too many coats. Why are they still out? It's summer. Like, getting all of that stuff put away, donated, or finding it a new home was job number one during this time. So every single day I would go into a different room and spend at least 10 minutes, which doesn't seem like much, but 10 minutes decluttering and getting rid of things that we didn't need. Now, my rules, which might be different from your rules because everybody has their own, it had to be something that we really liked. It had to be something that gave me a good emotional feeling. Like, if I have something that was broken, or if I was keeping something out of guilt because somebody gave it to me, maybe somebody else would really enjoy it, you know? So like, I found those things new homes. I had to really love it. It had to serve a purpose in our house. And that was the same with clothes too. And so that was a huge shift in our laundry routine. When we went and looked at all of our clothes, or had all the kids do it and I did it along with them, and I did it myself and looked at every shirt and said, do I love this? And if I don't love it, it's gone. I don't care if it fits and I don't care if it costs, you know, whatever the value is. Somebody else can use it and love it. But if I put it on every day and I don't feel great in it and I don't like the way I look, or I'm going to be messing with it all day or whatever, then it needs a new home, because that's emotionally taxing me to try to spend time getting ready every day and looking for something that I really love or something that fits right, when in reality, that's time that I could earn back if I just gave it away, which was just so freeing. So even with my kids, I have one son that will literally only wear things he absolutely loves and always has been that way. Well, we weren't letting him do that, or we weren't letting him do that easily. We would keep things around because, well, this was your brother's, or you'll grow into this, or you might like this, or I might want you in a picture for this. All it ever did was end up on the floor in his closet or on the floor in the laundry room, because I would want him to try it on and then it wouldn't get hung back up, or it would fall off, or some other sibling would touch it. And so I was creating extra work for myself by not just embracing the fact that he has a style, he knows what he likes, and why do I need him to keep all of this extra excess around? Like, what is the lesson in that, and where can I streamline? So we went in and we pulled off everything he didn't love, we put it in a bag, and we gave it to some friends. It worked perfectly. We did the same with shoes. We did the same with coats. We have amazing friends and family that bless us from every side with things that don't fit cousins or friends. And so we have just an amazing way of surplus finding us. Well, just because surplus found me doesn't mean I need to keep it all. So I need to be a good steward of those things and find them new homes for other kids who could use them as well. And we have many people around us that could use anything that we're not loving. Just because my kids don't want to wear it doesn't mean it's not beautiful, awesome clothing that somebody else wouldn't love. So letting those things go and not letting them trap you in the routine of extra laundry just because you were given it or you bought it and thought they would love it, it's just not enough anymore. Like, I need a better reason than that. So we only kept clothes that we loved. We put away everything that was out of size or out of season. Now, this has always been a trick for me, and I always thought, well, why go through the trouble if I have enough space in all of the drawers for the kids to just leave their stuff where it is? Well, the reason is that stuff gets pulled out and cycled through when it's not in the right season. So just like the shirts that I didn't want them to, or that he didn't want to wear, that I wanted him to wear, my girls might pull something out to try it on or for dress up, which was getting cycled back through extra laundry for no good reason, that was just out of season. So I took all of our storage tubs that we actually already still had upstairs, went through them and realized We don't use much of that stuff and we're not going to. So donated the old bedding and donated all of the things that were up there and refilled them with clothes that were out of season or not the right size. This was life-giving because one of my little girls loves to go through everything that's coming in the future, and I had just stuck it on shelves in a closet because, again, we had the closet space and hadn't really put it away enough for her to not be able to reach it. So there was a constant mess for me to manage when she would wake up during nap time and go into a closet and start pulling something out. So by getting that stuff all up and in the attic in an appropriately sized bins, I was able to really start to utilize what we had better and be better stewards of it. So now this current season, all we have out is summer stuff. And I've even been watching my girls since, and they love skirts right now. They don't love shorts. So you'll rarely see them in shorts. So why was I keeping out all of these shorts? Just because they were the right size and they wanted them at one point. They haven't worn them in for months. So I took all of the shorts and put them upstairs in the appropriately sized bins. Again, subtracting. I find that the more I subtract in my house, the more comfortable I feel and the less work I have to do. So I'm finding that the peace in our house is coming through subtraction. So if you haven't considered that, like, it might not be that you need one more thing. It might be that you need a few less things around to help the sanity and peace that comes along with it. So after we took away the stuff they didn't love, and we took away the stuff that I didn't love, and we donated all of those things, it made a huge difference in our laundry. But another thing that drove me absolutely crazy about laundry, and probably some other parents as well, socks. Okay, I hate socks. I hate my kids in mismatched socks, but I also hate matching socks. I hate looking for the one sock that's missing. And so I have thought of doing this for quite a while, but my mom actually talked me out of it one time because my kids need to have fun socks. But I got to thinking about it, like, my favorite socks are black or gray or whatever. So, like, why do my kids need to have polka dots that we could never find the spare to? So I threw away every sock that we had, and I replaced them with gray for the boys and black for the girls. They have short socks, they have tall socks in both sizes, and then we also have some plain gray baby socks. I'll try to link these below because these socks that have the little non-skid grips on them are one of my favorites, and I've used them in several different colors and patterns over the years, but obviously now my favorite's the all gray. But so I never have to match socks anymore. I have one basket. When the kids pull the laundry or help me pull the laundry out of the dryer, all the socks go straight in this basket. It sets right by the washer. When somebody wants socks, they come in here and they get the socks that they need and they walk away. Nobody's socks are mismatched. We're never looking for socks we can't find. And now if anything gets holey, it'll just be thrown away and replaced. So this was a huge win. We don't have to buy into the fact that everybody needs a million colored socks, and we don't have to buy into the fact that they have to be matched or whatever. You need to simplify to a way that works well for your family. And for us, this sock basket has been amazing. So I'd invite you to consider it if you're tired of looking for one last straggling sock, or you're just tired of folding them all up together. When they're all purchased at the same time, you don't have to deal with one being thinner or thicker or feeling different or anything of the sort. Just buy a whole bunch of socks. They fit everybody, and that will save you a ton of time, because it definitely has for me. Another thing that helped in the laundry room was simplifying what I was using to wash and dry our clothes. Now, I've been through a whole lot of things because natural is important to me, but also minimalist is important to me. I don't want big, huge jugs of things to manage, and I want my laundry containers to be small enough that my kids can start the load themselves. So I am actually using Puracy. Let me go grab it. Okay, I'm back. So what I'm using is Puracy, and you can see my bottle's been abused a little bit here. But this one 24-ounce bottle will do 96 loads, and then I order the refill bag that I can just pour into here. It takes 1 to 2 pumps of this to do an entire load of clothes. So I put this one bottle on the shelf for our laundry soap, and it works really well. It's free and gentle. They do have a scented kind, but I just really like the scent-free option. So this also says for tough stains, you can apply it directly to the stain, rub it in, and wash normally. It works for high efficiency as well as standard machines. I make $0 off of this, but it is awesome and I really love it. I used to have, several larger containers or like several different pre-treatment options. Now I'm down to one pre-treatment option. This is also from Puracy. It is the natural baby stain remover, fragrance free. This stuff is amazing. We use this like on the boys' silky kind of breathable, like athletic style shirts. They get really splotchy if they get something on them. And if you spray this stuff on and just let it sit, it will come off and wash out things that you thought were just done in absolute trash because of the amount of stains. So this one was a huge win for us. We've used this for a year and a half, maybe 2 now, and we love it. And I also put it on the kids' hats when they get all gross and stained and we want to throw them in the washer. So this stuff is a really big win. I love the Puracy, and I love that my whole laundry routine is these 2 little bottles, and it keeps my washroom really tidy as well. I can set it on a tiny little shelf and everything's good to go. Now, we just came off of baseball season, so that meant a lot of extra laundry just because we needed those uniforms again for at least one more game during the week. Usually one of my children would play Monday, Thursday, one would play Tuesday, Friday, and then the girls would play Saturday. So on a normal week, if we didn't have any rainouts or rescheduled games, the plan was for Monday night when everybody came home, and I'm talking from dad to me to all the kids, we took off all the baseball gear and put it together in one spot, one laundry basket. And then the next night after the second kiddos game, we would take all the baseball gear, throw it in the washer and wash it all together. Then that would go overnight Tuesday night. We put it in the dryer Wednesday morning and everything's good to go again for the Thursday ball game. Hung in the laundry room, never left, as well as their hats. All the socks, hats, belts, all of that stayed right together in the laundry room and never left. And that's for everybody from any age, so that we were able to just go in there, get ready for the game, and then leave. Now, when we had kids that had rainouts or games multiple nights, we would do that same routine, but we just washed the load every single night. I actually had some people that were thinking it might be easier to have multiple shirts so you didn't have to wash so often. But for me and my interest to only keep things that I love, when those baseball seasons are over, we're done with those shirts. So I didn't want to buy extras, but keeping everybody's nasty, dirty, sweaty, hot baseball gear in one load and just constantly coming out of the laundry, hanging up in the laundry room and ready to go really worked well for us. So if you're in the middle of a season like that, make sure to come up with some sort of laundry routine that will work really, really efficiently for you. And typically that's getting it started the night before and pushing it through the next morning, or at least it was at our house. Now, another space where we tried to simplify was housekeeping. And this can be really hard when you're on the go all the time. But one thing it does for a homeschool family is gives us the option to make our messes somewhere else. So I guess there's kind of a little give and take there. But by simplifying our housework routine, one of the things that was super important to me was that the kitchen be completely cleaned down every single night. Wipe all the counters, keep the flat surfaces clear, keep the table done, and the dishes have to roll every single night so that we don't wake up the next morning without plates and cups and bowls and everything clean and ready to go. The answer to us, again, was not to buy more plates or anything of the sort, but just to keep it moving because it really helped us to stay in a routine of keeping things nice and clean. To do this, because sometimes we're running in late or we're having to leave early, one important thing that really helps is to have more than one broom. Never get caught with one broom. You need help. And so when my boys can grab the brooms afterwards, or one can grab washcloth, wipe the table, and the other can do brooms while the girls are bringing plates over to the kitchen sink, that really helps to keep our routine flowing. So I do have a Norwex mop that I really love, but I also have a broom, which I'll link, that I got off Amazon, that has a dustpan that's attached and all. Let me grab it. So let me show you. This broom with the stand-up dustpan allows us to just move around the house, or especially around the kitchen, and keep things swept up all the time without constantly bending over. It seems like a little thing, but when you are as busy as we are, and when your house is as dirty as we are, and kids are learning to eat food with their fingers, then it's really nice to be able to sweep things up and keep them going. So I grabbed that off Amazon. I will put the link down below. Again, right now I don't make any commission off my Amazon stuff. So I'm just showing you what really has worked well for us. And that broom, as well as our Norwex mop, has been a real lifesaver in keeping things moving around here and having enough to keep, we actually have enough mops to keep 3 hands busy. So somebody can be helping in one corner and they can all start in different corners of the kitchen and kind of come together in the middle. But we really like to have the options for all the kids to get involved. Even if it's not perfect at the end, it's way better than it was before we got started. So that's a big one. Also, first thing in the morning, the kids have to empty the dishwasher. They all have little sections that they do, or I should say some of them do. My oldest will go push the laundry over, and then the other kids will do the dishes. And that helps to get everything set and put away at the beginning of the day so that we can refill it as we go on all day long. So little routines and systems that we put in place to help keep things moving have been a really huge gift for us, especially when we're running and going and doing so much. Toys. Okay, this one really can get some people going, but I have found that the fewer toys we have, the fewer toys that we have, the more my kids use their brains to come up with their own plans and really get creative in their play. So what we did was I went through the toy room just like the clothes and said, what in here what do you not love anymore? And so we really started looking at the things that we were picking up the most and wondering, is this something that I need? Is this something that we could do without? And how's that going to work for us? And one of the things that we were picking up all the time in every room of the house was Legos. And so we decided to put our Legos up for a week and see if the kids missed them. And after 3 days, my oldest son came to me and he goes, Mom, get rid of the Legos. We don't need them. And I was like, okay, like I didn't even think twice. I put them on Facebook, gave the whole big box away. So thrilled because somebody else, one, wanted them and would enjoy them. And two, I will never pick up another Lego in my house. And if I do, go straight to the trash because it's a random one-off little tiny piece and we don't need it anymore. So getting rid of the Legos was a huge advantage for us. Another thing that we did was we own one Nerf gun now. We used to own a ton of Nerf guns, and I honestly don't know how we still have one. But we own a ton of Nerf guns. We have one dart, and if that dart gets lost, we won't have a dart. But they play them like an airsoft, like if they can hear the sound that's getting hit, because what we replaced all of our Nerf guns with was laser guns. So the kids can still go outside with their laser guns. They can play inside with their laser guns. They have 4 laser guns. They're all different colored, but what we don't have to do is pick up Nerf darts or hear them hit things or have them hit kids. If you've had a Nerf gun lately, some of those things are really strong. And so we don't have to worry about all those things that we had to worry about before, now that the Nerf guns and darts are mainly gone. So Legos and Nerf both left. We went through the playroom and tossed anything that was broken. And I asked my girls, who love Barbies, by the way, if there's anything that they are not playing with and they don't want. And for like the 3rd time in a row, my daughter brought me her Cabbage Patch doll. Now, when I was a kid, these things were the thing. My mom actually still has all of mine from when I was a kid. I mean, how does my kid not want a Cabbage Patch? Like, I don't even understand. Well, I finally got to understanding, like, okay, I don't care what I liked. The value is in what she likes. And if this thing is constantly thrown in the floor because it's getting chucked out of the bin while she's looking for her Barbies, it needs to go. So that, along with a whole bunch of other stuff, went again to the donation bin. Like I said, we went daily for months to drop things off. But getting out of my own mom mind of like, they should want this, they might want this. If they don't want it and they're not playing with it, and it's just clutter in their own mind and space, there's no value in keeping it. So I'm not keeping things anymore simply because they wanted them or I thought they wanted them or somebody else gave it to us. Nothing has a home here out of guilt or out of the thought that somebody should want it. We have to really want it for it to remain. Now, I mentioned the guilt thing, and this is kind of an interesting one. One day, my mom came over, and I have a really cool shelf in my bathroom, and it had some little glass knickknacks on it. And my mom, who's also constantly purging things out of her house, she looked at this glass basket on my shelf, and she said, you should give that to another friend that I know. she said I think she might like that. And at first I thought, well, there goes my mom, like giving away something on my shelf I hadn't picked up yet to get rid of. But she knows I'm in the vein of getting rid of things. And the reason that she picked this one woman to give it to was really interesting to me. And I started to think about it. And I remember this was a gift from my wedding shower from an older lady in town who was so kind to my family. And she had handwritten notes inside of every one of these glass baskets about where she had purchased them and the history of them and where they came from. Well, my mom had listened to me in conversation and realized that I now know it would be her grandson's wife. I now know her, and they've moved to town and they're in the process of building a new house. And she thought it might be really cool to give this basket to her. And so I thought, well, that's awesome. Like it's not something that I cherish for any reason other than that it came from my wedding shower. It's not something that I love or that I would pick up anywhere else. It was just a gift given to me. And so I took a picture of it and I text this mom that I know. And I said, hey, you're on my mind. My mom actually mentioned this. Is this something that you would want for your new house? And she was ecstatic. One, it's a handwritten note from her children's grandma. Two, it was a completer of a pattern of glass that her mother had started collecting for her years ago when she was born. So the full circleness of seeing that something that you have on your shelf that you're keeping just because somebody gave it to you, it might be something that is so held dear by somebody else. So in being able to look at things in that regard really helped me to see that that there is somebody out there who genuinely loves and is looking for the pieces that you're holding on to just because you paid money for them or given them or something of the sort, and not because you truly treasure them. So if you have things in that regard, maybe you will also have the opportunity to bless somebody with a gift that they've been looking for a long time as well. One thing I do want to bring up in the vein of kids' toys, for anybody worried that we got rid of all of the STEM activities and that my kids are suffering with no toys, one, we still have a lot of toys. They kept the things that they love. And two, my kids will stay busy for hours and hours and hours with boxes from the recycling paper, a good pair of scissors, and some duct tape. So they create cities and towns for their trucks, which they did keep. And their little hunting guys or even their Barbies, they create new things out of the recycling pile. And those things are using their creativity, they're using their hands, they're just developing all sorts of skills that they don't really have with toys that are less open-ended. So if you have children that are creative or you would like to get more creative, rolls of duct tape for Christmas or holidays or birthdays in various colors or patterns are really, really, really like high treasure around here. So my kids still do have the opportunity to have fun, even though we did get rid of probably 90% of their toys over the past 6 months or so. All right. So if you guys have any additional tips on house management or things that you have been able to accomplish and you see that maybe I could use some help with, definitely don't hesitate to leave those below. I am very open-minded and always seeking out ways that I can smooth our process around here and make things flow a little bit easier. So with that, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're interested in homemade, homegrown, homeschool, or home management, please like and subscribe to my videos because that really helps the algorithm, and I would love to see you back soon. So thank you all for stopping by and have a great day.